Hi, my name is Will Dean. I'm the Forest author. Today I'm going to talk about how much money authors really make. How are you? Are you well? I've just been for a walk in the forest. I have to hike about 2 kilometers to get to my post box, a plastic box on a stick. That's the closest the postman comes to my house because they can't drive on my track because my track is off-road. And I found a tree I hadn't noticed before. Like there's a lot of trees here, obviously, and I found a tree that's plastered with white mushrooms. And this has happened in the last 2 days. Like I do this trek pretty much every day, and it's plastered with mushrooms. I'll try and show a photo or something. Hundreds, probably thousands of mushrooms. Amazing thing. Autumn. This is autumn. Probably my favorite time of the year. Anyway, I'm off topic. I'm talking today about how much money do authors really earn. Money, money, money. Now you might think that's kind of a clickbaity title. Kinda is, I guess. The truth is obviously that all authors earn vastly different amounts of money, but I think money is something that's not talked about enough when it comes to publishing, when it comes to authors. If you're very privileged and you have a ton of cash sitting around, then you can be super focused on your art. But for the rest of us, we need to be focused on the art and craft of writing, but we also need to pay the mortgage or pay the electricity bill and put shoes on our kids. So I think it's important to talk about money. And like with all of these videos, I'm trying to lift the lid on publishing, kind of demystify the whole process. So I want to talk about how authors earn their cash. First things first, don't become an author for the money. You can earn a lot more money doing like a million different other things. Some authors earn a lot of money, but it's kind of accidental. They're generally just deep into their craft and the money kind of comes. The people who try to write to make a lot of money, I don't see that often working. It's often the people who are just obsessed with books. And then eventually, maybe after 2 books or 22 books, a ton of money starts rolling in if they're lucky. Like it's not a big money industry. I've done a lot of different jobs on a building site. I've worked in retail, I've worked in restaurants and bars. I sold discount haircut coupons on the streets of London for 2 years. I've done a lot of weird jobs, but at the end I worked in finance, designing and kind of building and managing trading infrastructure. So I wasn't one of the dudes who was paid a lot, but I was kind of sitting close to the dudes who were paid a lot. And if I was that bothered about money, I'd still be doing that, to be honest. But here's the thing with author incomes. You've probably seen some of the surveys about author incomes and how a lot of professional authors or agented authors, traditionally published authors, don't earn a lot of money. That's bang on the money. That's true. A lot of authors scraping by on 10 grand a year, on 12 grand a year, on 21 grand a year, and making up the shortfall with teaching or doing editorial stuff or what they get paid for appearing at events. Or they have their other job, their full-time job. Like it's a lot of authors, most professional authors are scraping by. And the other thing is that 1 year will be often vastly different to the next year. Like if you're a typical traditionally published author, you get an advance. Let's say your advance for a 2-book deal is £6,000 or £12,000, something like that. Maybe you get a foreign rights deal in 1 or 2 territories, and that could be another €1,000 or €5,000. And maybe let's say you get a TV option from somebody who's not well known, and that's another €3,000 a year for 2 years, something like that. So they're the kind of numbers you're often dealing with, unfortunately, as a traditionally published author. Obviously, there are plenty of authors who are on six-figure advances, who have sold into 5, 10, 25 different territories, who have significant TV and movie options, who make money on the side from journalism as well, from writing articles, and so on and so on and so on. But they're not the norm. Like, the norm is that money is quite tight, and that 1 year you can have a reasonably good year, and then the next year your income can be cut by 3/4. That's how weird publishing is, and being an author is. It's a very unsteady thing. That's why so many authors can't go full time, because it's just like unpredictable. It's incredibly unpredictable, and that can add to your stress levels, that unpredictability of your income, and those stress levels can stifle your creativity and your storytelling. I've been really lucky. My first book deal was really small with a small publisher, but I live in a forest with zero costs. Like, we use logs for our heating and our cooking. We have our own well for water. There are no shops here. There are no restaurants. We probably eat out once every 2 years. So our cost base is extremely low. But then my second deal, which came a month after my debut came out, was like 40 times bigger. And that changed my life completely. And I have, good foreign rights deals and a great TV option with Lionsgate. So I've been really, really fortunate, but that's an anomaly. And this speaks to the importance, again, of having a good agent. Like, you need to be a good storyteller. You need to work on your craft and improve your craft. You need to read books written by authors who are better than you are, but at the same time, you need an agent to fit all the puzzle together, if that makes sense. You need to do your job as a storyteller, as a professional author, if that's what you want to be, but then your agent needs to sell it well. And then your publisher needs to publish it well. And this is kind of, there's a lot of moving parts to a successful author career, but you need a good agent, you need a good publisher, and you need to do everything you can to drive your career. And like I say, a lot of people don't like talking about money because they see it as some base thing. But for most of us, like, it's important. We have to feed ourselves. We have to clothe our kids. So I've got a St. Bernard puppy, for goodness sake. He eats a lot of food. Like, I think he might even be a bear. So the reality is we need to earn decent money somehow. So if you have questions, and I'm very open, like, if you have questions about money, about advanced levels, about tax, or I'm not an expert in tax, but I have like some experience of dealing with international tax as an author. If you have issues, questions, concerns, worries about TV options, about the terms, about foreign rights deals and the levels of payment, if you don't understand how an advance works and how you earn out an advance, hit me up in the comments. I will do my very best to answer you. If I can't answer you, I will say so, and I will try to direct you to the right place and to an expert who actually knows what they're talking about. But this has been Will Dean, Forest author, talking about money and books. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
I've always known wrong from right, for the dark run into the light. I try to run and I try